What's up, everyone? Welcome into Attacking Third. It is Thursday, so we are dropping live on YouTube. We always go live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. Monday, we're also talking soccer at the end of the weekend. You've got to tune in all the time because we're here chatting all the things. And today we're looking ahead to NWSL Week 11. The league is back in action. We talked to a Gotham player, Sarah Schupansky. You're going to want to hear what the rookie has to say. And of course, we're wrapping up the international break. So we're going to touch on the UEFA Women's Nations League, how the group stage rounded out, and what's next for some of these nations. I can never do it alone. I got to have my friends with me alongside Jordan Angeli and Darian Jenkins. I'm Lisa Carlin. Yes, you heard that right. Jordan, you're back with us. Hey, girl. What's
the OG.
I know, I'm back. Guys, this feels like we're back to a couple years ago, right? It feels good to be here with Darian. I got Sandra on the last show I was on, so these are the OGs, and I just love it. I love being with you guys. And Darian looks good. New hairdo. I like it, girl.
We've got inches now. No, thank you. I appreciate it. But you guys, howdy. You guys were in Tennessee.
Sure were. Should have seen
How was it?
Boots. It was really fun. We got to go spend a couple days together. It's weird when you work with people that you're friends with because you don't always get to see them except at work things. So we carved out some time to hang out outside of it, celebrate Jordan and her birthday, which was really fun. Guys, if you're in the chat live on YouTube, wish Jordan a happy birthday because she deserves all the love.
If anybody guesses the age I am, then extra special for you.
Well, perhaps you're 11 because we're talking NWSL Week 11, Jordan. So you're into those double digits at twice now, 11 years old. Guys, NWSL is back this weekend. I know we've all missed it after this international break. And we've got 7 matches again coming into this weekend. So we're going to preview the biggest matchups of the weekend. And number 1, circled at the top of everyone's calendar, is Gotham taking on Kansas City Current. This game Saturday, June 7th, 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff, and you can watch it on CBS. But what makes this matchup so intriguing is number 9 Gotham have hit a bit of a slump right now. They're winless in their last 3 NWSL matches prior to the break. They were shut out in all 3. However, they just won the CONCACAF W Champions Cup. So it's this weird, we just won a trophy, but we're not doing too well in league play. And Gotham now is going up against number 1 in the standings, top of the table, 4 points clear of the second place team, Kansas City Current, who are on a 3-game winning streak. This is a big battle, Darian. But when you think about overall the 2 11s as they go head to head, where on the pitch is this game going to be won and lost?
If I'm Gotham, I'm looking at this midfield for Kansas City because they've had these players all in national team camp, getting a lot of training. Who knows what the minutes are going to be coming back from camp. And Gotham's had a bit of a rest since W Champions Cup. I think they showed a lot of confidence. They were putting goals away. Midge Purse is cooking again. They look like they were going back to the strengths of players as opposed to, I think, oversharing the ball at times. And not just relying on Esther to score. So I think it's going to come down to the midfield being a little bit more direct, like we saw in the W Champions Cup. And it's going to be a big advantage to them. But at the same time, I'm talking and I'm like, do you really believe this? Because Kansas City, well, they've got Rocky, they've got Vanessa DiBernardo. You can drop Bia in. I mean, they're yacked either way. But if I'm going to go play against a Kansas City Current, I want to do it when most of their players have been out with international call-ups and hopefully are a little more tired.
It's so funny you said that, Darian, because I wrote midfield is where this is going to get one. Then I wrote in the 18s because I feel like Gotham has been a little sloppy in their defensive 18, and that's not something we've typically seen of them. But then I'm thinking about these 2 teams, and I'm like, where has Kansas City punished teams? And it's been in the channels, right? And guess who's back in that right channel? It's Michelle Cooper. She can absolutely torch a team. So you have Showing on one side, you have Cooper on the other, and they're playing against really 2 center backs, and typically Jess Carter and Lilly Reale. And I'm thinking those 2 have done a great job this season, right? Especially Lilly Reale. I think she has stepped into this new position playing as a left outside back in a really positive way. But I know. Go ahead, say it. Say it. Go. Go Bruins.
I wore my blue. I said go Bruins in case anybody didn't catch that. So I can't help it. I can't help it at this point.
Yeah, you should. But to me, with the pace and kind of the intricate play in the channel of not just those two players, think about the impact Izzy Rodriguez has had from that outside back position on the left, and Haley Mace now on the right and stepping in and winning the ball. So it is allowing those two to play kind of as pocket wingers at times. They can play in the channel if they want to. I think that is going to be a handful for this Gotham back line. And I am not quite sure that they are going to be able to handle it, because I don't feel like they have been as confident as we have seen them in years past defending in open play.
Defensively, Gotham is going to have their hands full. They're going to have to be so organized because of all the numbers, Jordan, as you mentioned, that are literally streaking forward, cutting inside, finding all these different areas of space that Casey has a lot of freedom to do. Izzy Rodriguez, as you mentioned, she's everywhere. If you watch her heat map at times, she cuts inside. I'm like, are you a central midfielder right now? What's happening? She's in the corner of the 18. She's sending crosses in. But so I think defensively, Gotham is going to have their hands full, and they're going to have to be really organized. But I would argue that offensively, with Midge Purse really finding her stride right now, she's looking more confident now than I think we've seen her in the last 2-3 years, because she wants to get back to exactly where she was. I like her on the ball, Jordan, and I like her when she's going end line. Plus, they've got Jace, who has also found her footing at Gotham a little bit more in these last couple of weeks. I think playing in the CONCACAF W Champions Cup for Jace has also given her a different wrinkle to find other parts of her game that maybe we haven't seen in NWSL. And I want her to find those against Kansas City. Gotham's going to have to be really brave moving forward. And when they get numbers high, because knowing that Kansas City is going to hurt them if they lose the ball in poor areas and their rest defense isn't structured enough, that's going to be one of the biggest factors for Kansas City. There is a fun fact. Hold on, Dee. I got to give you guys a fun fact.
Okay.
Kansas City has never lost to Gotham in all competitions.
Yep.
I
read that too, and I was pretty shocked.
Yeah. You took the words out of my mouth. And do you guys remember the first time I think I was at this game when I first saw Schwinga play Gotham? And I think there was like a corner kick. It was cleared out. Bia held the ball up, and Schwinga just put her head down and did like a 70-yard sprint past Gotham's entire backline. I think I've done a breakdown of this on
A3. Where Neely Martin was like trucking.
Oh, I was like, this poor team. I don't know how you handle Schwinga. I think that there's still that factor, but on the other end of it, the more I'm thinking about it, I mean, Alana Cook is a really, really big loss for Kansas City. I mean, thoughts and healing prayers, soccer gods heal her quickly and proficiently to her. But I think that that's such a big organizational loss. And we saw that in their last game against Chicago, where it's just some of the mistakes we saw last year from Kansas City, where we said, they're leaking goals, but they'll outscore you. It gave that. Chicago is a team trying to figure it out. They should be shutting out a team like Chicago right now. So the fact that off of a set piece, those are big vulnerabilities. I think Gotham can be good on set pieces. They have really good service from Reale, Schupansky, Esther getting on the end of it. That's a big opportunity. I'm just hoping we see goals in this game. I feel like it can be very, very open.
Well, we should. And Lisa mentioned that fun fact. Another one is that Gotham led in 4 of the 9 meetings that they've had, but then only to see Kansas City come back and win. So Gotham in this place, like sometimes, I don't know, Dee, you've been playing teams too, where it's like this team just has your number, and no matter what you do right, they find a way. Yeah, it's this like mental block that you can't get over. And maybe it is a boost for Gotham. They come off a big win. They get a trophy already in this season. That's success for me for this Gotham squad. They already are sitting in the middle of summer with a trophy in their cabinet after probably what was a disappointing 2024 coming off of a championship. So I think that is going to give them a boost. When you guys were talking about the forwards, and Lisa, you should go back and watch Darian and I both like be a little shocked when he said best Midge Purse in 2 or 3 years. I like it. I think Purse is getting a lot more confident. And coming off an ACL, it does. It's like these slow little steps that you take. And I do think she is getting more confident. The thing that is hard about me with Gotham right now, and a reason why I don't know when it's going to click, it will click, but it doesn't feel like it's clicked yet, is it still feels too individualistic to me when they do get into the attacking third. Like, I love me some Midge Purse on the ball. Like the plays that you were talking about, Lisa, getting to the end line, creating from there. But then it's like, how are players working off of her? How are players working off of Jace? Like, I think that they're just still trying to find how they all work together in unison with this front line. And once it clicks, it's going to be great. Is it going to click this weekend against Kansas City?
What makes that click? Is it time together, or is it tactics? Is it the system that they're set up in?
I think it's time together. I think their system is chaos. Like, Dee, if you can talk to me about the system, explain to me the system, then awesome. Like, I think I get it. And then I'm like, I don't really know what they're trying to do sometimes. So I'm still, even, as somebody that calls games all the time, trying to figure out what Gotham is trying to do. But it's really about reading space and creating space, not just for yourself, but space for players around you. And if you're not used to certain players' movements, you might zig when you need to zag. And you might come into a pocket that then Esther actually wants that pocket, and it's best for you to go in behind. So I think they're trying to figure each other out right now. And they've had players coming back from injury, right? They've had, I think, a little bit more rotation from players that are going to play key roles than we've seen from Gotham in the previous seasons. I believe it's going to click. You can't have these players and it not click, but they're just not as threatening as I think they have been, Darian. And I don't know what that is about them right now, but to me, I just look at the pieces Kansas City have and I think, Kansas City they're going to create more opportunities that they're going to be able to put away. Whereas Gotham, I think, okay, they might create 5. They better score one of those.
Yeah, I think with Gotham, it's the predictability that's come from their game that the W Champions Cup gave me a little bit of hope watching. Oh, you can be more direct. This actually suits the forwards that you have. I mean, there was a chance from Ann Katzenberger straight to Esther in the final match. There was a chance from multiple chances from Lilly Reale into Midge Purse running in behind. Like, to me, when you're coming back from injury, and Jordan, you can speak to this at length, you need to get back to what brought me to this level. What is my bread and butter that I know from being a young girl made me elite at whatever it is? And Midge Purse, it's getting in behind, it's going 1v1 and taking shots. I think we're seeing that slowly come together for her. And the W Champions Cup was a really great moment. She put some goals away. She looked fantastic. She got penalties. Decision-making is still, I think, the last thing to come when you're coming back from injury like that. But I think from the team that we're used to seeing, where it's with Rose Lavelle and all of the changes they made last year, it was much more of a playmaking team where they shared the ball almost excessively at points. And this year, it's taken so much time to just figure out, at least from my point of view, be a little more direct. You don't have to play pretty football all the time. Make it ugly. Send it over. You have so much speed and tenacity up top. Use it.
And they also have.
Do I think it's going to happen in this game? Maybe over the wing backs. I do think they'll get a goal, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll get a dub.
Gotham has the forwards, D, that can get in behind, but they also have players to deliver beautiful balls. Sonnet, Real, right? And so many of these different players. Jess Carter can play a pretty ball out of the back too.
Mandy.
Yeah. They have both ends that can do it. It's picking and choosing the moments and understanding how the game is flowing, where we can go from there and how we can hurt the other team. All right, guys, we got to do predictions. You got to hit me. So you guys were like, we're going to have maybe a lot of goals, maybe not a lot of goals. What the heck is happening? What can the people expect?
I'm going to go 3-1 Kansas City. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. That was my first score I put down too, Darian, and then I changed it. So maybe, do I go back to my first score, or do I go with the 2-1?
My mom always said, go with your gut instinct. The first thing that comes to your mind, just rock with it.
Yeah. I kind of feel I'm not convinced this back line is going to be able to handle the pace of the front line for Kansas City. So I had 3-1. I think Gotham will get a goal, and but once Kansas City gets one, this is the hard thing about playing Kansas City. They get one and then they get compact and they sit in this like mid, I wouldn't call it quite a mid block. It's a little past like half field, right? And they keep the lines tight. They say, all right, come on out. We're ready for you. And they get a team stretched. And then what happens? Labonte gets the ball and it's one pass over top the back line. And now you have Schwinga, you have Cooper, you have Bia, who like sneaky speed on Bia. Sneaky speed on Bia.
When she gets going.
Yes. So I just feel like if they can get one, they're going to have the space in behind a high Gotham back line, which will inevitably come. And they've been one of the best teams about creating those chances and finishing good transition moments. So, D, I'm going to go the same. I'm going to go 3-1.
Guys,
hell yeah. I know Carl's going to be different. What you got? Of
course, I have to be different. I don't think Kansas City's going to get 3. I don't think defensively Gotham, Juan Carlos Amoros is going to allow that to happen, right? Think of all the film they have, how much they've seen Kansas City score. It's really hard to stop them. So I'll still give them a win, but I'm just going to go 2-1 for them. Okay. And it's going to be that last goal that Kansas City gets is going to be like a huge breakdown, and then Kansas City goes. So I'll give it that one. But big game. That's Saturday, June 7th, KC against Gotham FC, 1 p.m., and you can watch it on CBS. We also have a big game on Paramount Plus and Golazo Network Sunday night. So it's June 8th. It is 4th place Washington Spirit taking on 10th place North Carolina Courage. Now, 4th for Washington, 10th for North Carolina seems like a big gap. Guys, it is not at all. North Carolina is coming off of a 5-2 loss to San Diego, the last match that they played before the international break. But prior to that, they were 4 straight games picking up points, 3 wins and just 1 draw. One of those wins came against Kansas City, and the draw came against Orlando, 2 of the top teams in the league right now. Meanwhile, for Washington Spirit, prior to the international break, they got a 2-1 win over Seattle, and they're coming off of 3 straight games picking up points. Now, Jordan, this game for Washington Spirit will be the first after their big head coaching news was announced. So head coach Jonathan Giraldez is leaving for, how are we saying it, D? OL Lyonnais? Hit us with the French correctly.
OL Lyon.
Lyon. There we go.
But I don't know how we're saying it in America. I don't know what people are just going to rock with. But that is how you properly say it in French.
Thank God we have someone that speaks French here.
Seriously.
So Giraldez is leaving in July to go to Lyon, allowing Adrian Gonzalez to become again the head coach.
Can we just talk about it? Why doesn't he just go now?
I don't know.
Is that weird?
I don't know.
That is so bizarre to me.
It's weird.
I would be like, just leave. We're already rocking with Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, what he did last year with the team, the confidence he brought out of players, they were defensively more sound, in my opinion.
And why the tactics from now until July that Giraldez gives to them is irrelevant. Just let Gonzalez start coaching.
Yeah, I find that very bizarre. I think this whole thing was wild. I can't imagine how Washington Spirit fans feel about this. Like, they probably feel like this club is like second tier now in the pecking order of Michelle Kang's teams, which
maybe,
I think.
But I would argue against that because Adrian Gonzalez had a lot of success with this team last year.
I'm talking Spirit fans in general. Like you're saying our head coach is leaving to go coach another team in our kind of organization, right? So you're saying this is one of the best coaches in the world. He's going to go here. I just feel like they're going to be a little upset with just how it went down. Not that they're going to be upset with Adrian Gonzalez. I really have enjoyed him. Like Dee said, they were rolling when he was coaching 10-4-1 to start 2024. This is a guy who really understands what he wants to do. I think that they're going to be super comfortable with him just slotting into that spot. All I'm saying is, why not tomorrow?
Yeah,
why not this weekend? Like
Jordan's like,
see ya. Like if you don't want to be here, see ya, right? Maybe I'm just different that way.
No, I agree. I think it's weird to be like, I'm leaving in a month. Like, just leave now.
I also wonder if this movement, I mean, I think we talk about when we're thinking of who's going to coach what team, and there's this same sort of spin cycle of coaches that we always have their names thrown in. And I think with Jonah Heraldez going to Olympique Lyon and Adrian Gonzalez becoming the permanent head coach for Washington Spirit, that's another elite coach now that we have as a head coaching role, getting more and more experience, as opposed to just this washing machine we have of the same teams at the same big clubs that kind of rotate in and out. We're adding another one to the arsenal. So I'm with it. I'm with you guys. Jonah, leave tomorrow. Whatever. The team's going to do great. They love Adrian Gonzalez. We love you too, but
yeah, totally.
What? But he's not leaving tomorrow. He's not. He is still there. Jonah Heraldez is still there coaching.
I'm just putting it out in the soccer universe.
Yeah, I'm talking to him tomorrow morning, so I hope he's still there.
Jordan, you mentioned it's probably a little weird for the fans. How does it change the narrative for the players? Is it weird for them?
I think that they respect both these coaches. We just talked about their resumes and how good they are. So for the players, they know what their business is. And for the Spirit team, I think they feel like they've underperformed, even though they're sitting in a good place in the standings, I should say. They don't, to me, as an outsider looking in, I don't think that they have performed as well as they could perform. So this is a really good opportunity against a North Carolina team who everybody understands what they're trying to do. And I think one of the things that is key in the last few weeks for North Carolina is they aren't, and don't, like Sean Nahas wants them to be like always ball dominant, but I do feel like they have found times where they see a team stretched and they're like, all right, we're going to go and we're going to try to score quicker. And they need that duality in the way that they play to add some unpredictability in their game. So I think for the Spirit, the players, not much changes, right? They trust Jonah's voice. They trust, or Jonathan's voice. I say his name wrong every time. And they trust Adrian's voice. And I would imagine it will be like more shared roles as they move forward. I don't know how they're going to handle that, but I don't think it changes much for the players.
Yeah, I agree. If anything, I think it's more of a confidence drive than anything, because you're familiar. You did so well last year. I think it simplifies things from your interim head coach going to assistant with a new head coach coming in. It just makes things a little bit more plain and clear. And you have one voice that you're very comfortable with that led you to success last year that you get to listen to. All
right, guys, this North Carolina team, though, they are scoring goals, which was tough for them to start this season. They weren't finding the back of the net, but now they've scored multiple goals in 4 of their last 5 games, right? Even that tough loss to San Diego, they still put away 2. So they have 10 games in their last 10 goals in the last 5 games. They're finding their rhythm. I think for North Carolina, they have to be a little bit more brave going forward at times and play that risky pass that sends someone forward, especially against San Diego. It was very passive. It was very in their own defensive end. But Washington is going to let North Carolina have the ball, let them pass around a little bit, let them be ball dominant. They're going to hurt in transition. So can North Carolina be really brave moving forward? But this is, I think, the midfield to me in this game is going to be so key for this game. If Denise O'Sullivan, she dictates so much of the tempo for North Carolina, and she strings everything together for them. But she's going up against Narumi, guys, former teammate.
Besties.
So fun. I think that's going to be so fun to watch them in the middle of this game.
I have a thought on the midfield. To me, North Carolina wants to play in that box, right? They've been playing with 2 10s, Sanchez and Shaw. And then it's Riley Jackson, who we have probably not been talking about Riley Jackson enough. Like in general, she has been elite in she's 19 years old. Like so good. She might even be younger than that. I don't know. I don't have my notes right in front of me. And then O'Sullivan. So they want to play in this box. But if you have Bernal in there, Narumi, or is Hal back? We don't know. We don't know the status of Hal. We know she got some minutes in the last game. I think that this is where it's going to be won or lost, especially for North Carolina, because in that game against San Diego, they wouldn't let Shaw, they wouldn't let Sanchez get the ball. Sanchez had, I'm trying to recall from back then, I think she had 19 touches in the game when Sanchez came out of the game. It was in the teens. It was not enough touches for Sanchez in this formation that they want to work through. So if if North Carolina is going to be successful and those two are not being able to get the ball in this formation because of the holding midfielders of Washington Spirit, especially Bernal, how good has she been about breaking up plays? Mm-hmm. How do they get the ball? If they cannot adapt, it's going to be a tough day for North Carolina. But those two are uber creative. And I think coming off the heels of that San Diego game and maybe what the Spirit are going to learn from that, they're going to try to take those two out of the game. How can they be better? And it might be perfect timing for them to try to find those slots. Like, do they go a little bit of a diamond where they find the pockets on the outside instead of right in front of the back line where the holding midfielders sit? Do they slide a little bit wide? Mm-hmm. Whatever their movement will be, I think coming off of that game where there was frustration, it might be a perfect storm for North Carolina to find the right solutions against this Spirit team.
The Courage have adapted well this year. We've seen them be able to do that at times. And I think under Nejas this year, we're seeing that differently. If they can't impose their game upon their opposition 100%, they're adjusting and adapting, which allows them to pick up points.
But with that, I think we even need more adjusting. Well, we need that amenability between, okay, a team knows that you're going to play in a box. A team knows, hey, if we try to bully Denise O'Sullivan, it's going to break up your entire play. Cool. Shut out Sanchez and Shaw. We know how to shut you down in the attack. To me, there needs to be maybe one more tactic change, one more something that adds another layer to how this team builds. You know they're going to be possessive heavy. You know they're going to be incredibly technical. They can be threatening, but they've just been that for so long. It's almost, yes, keep the directness, keep going at them. But I need like one more change up. And I think that's going to do it for them. But it's been fun to watch them get better and better each game, especially week over week, especially in the attack for these players. I still want to see Jaden Shaw get on the board. We need a goal. We need a goal for her.
She needs that too.
Yeah, you can just see it in her confidence, in her body language. She's just in that, I want to call it like sophomore slump almost that you get in there. She just needs one and it'll get better. But
you can tell she's pressing the game and she's trying to do the most when like she is at her best, when she's not thinking about how she needs to be productive. She's just being productive. And it's a funny thing to talk about, but it really is this mixture between not thinking too much and just feeling the game. And she feels the game so well, and she just can't get in that rhythm right now. So, but no better time to do it than against this Spirit team at home. They haven't been great. They haven't been great at home this year, Lisa.
No, they haven't. Washington has really struggled to pick up points. They haven't made it a fortress. They just 4 points in 5 games at home. So they have lost more points at home this season through week 10 than they did in all 13 home games last year. So this is going to be a big struggle for Washington. Millie Tice in our chat is like, guys, I'm not making predictions. So I see the availability report. Well, Millie, you're lucky. We have to make predictions on here because we do our shows on Thursday. So we have to know. Jordan, I'm going to go to you first. Who takes this one? Washington, North Carolina?
Yeah. We hate draws, don't we?
No, you're going to give it a draw.
Well, I won't if we hate them that much.
Well, what do you genuinely think? I do hate a draw, though.
I think this could be like a 1-1 game. That's my thought. I think both of these teams could score, but when I'll not go a draw. I'm going to go 2-1 Spirit. I think with them getting some players back, they're getting a little bit more healthy at home. They know those numbers just as well as we do, right? They know that they haven't been performing well at Rowdy Audi, and that place is rocking when they are on the front foot. And Croy just got her first goal in the last game. She's going to want to do that at home. She has come back from this injury with the same zip in her step that she had before. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think North Carolina gets one, but with some of these players back for the Spirit, I'll give them a win. I'll give them a win at home.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go North Carolina wins away from home. They need it. I want Jaden Shaw to score. I'm putting it out into the soccer universe, the footy universe. Get Jaden Shaw on the scoreboard. I want to see that tactical change. And like you said, Spirit haven't been great at home. They're aware of that. Rowdy Audi. But it's a lot of pressure when you're at home as well, and you still haven't been performing. So I'm gonna give some faith and goodwill over to the Courage girls.
I like this one. This could be a draw. This could very well be a draw.
Boo.
I'm not going to give it just because we can't, but if I could, I would give a draw. But I'm going to go Washington 1-0. I think it's going to be narrow. I think there's going to be chances created, but it's not going to come and be as electric as it could be. And Washington needs this win at home. I also think defensively, they could limit North Carolina to what they need to do in the attacking end. So this game, Washington, North Carolina, 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jordan, where can we hear you this weekend? I'm sure you're calling all the games.
Well, I'll be on this game that we just talked about. Yep. Washington, North Carolina. And then I'm on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Angel City playing the Stars. Will the Stars find a way? You'll have to tune in.
You'll have to tune in, guys. NWSL Week 11 is back. It all kicks off on Friday. 2 matches, 4 matches on Saturday, and then 1 match on Sunday. But the big game, Gotham KC, 1 p.m. Eastern, Saturday on CBS. And in that game, the rookie, Sarah Schupansky, she joined A3 to chat about her rookie season and how it's going with the U23s with the U.S. So stick with us. Schupansky's interview's coming up next.
2 scoring sensations square off. Temwa Shawinga and the first place Current battle Esther Gonzalez and Gotham FC. Next Saturday on CBS.
Hey, welcome back to Attacking Third. Yesterday, Darian and I had the absolute pleasure. She was a sweetheart, Dee. Such a sweetheart.
She was.
Speaking with Gotham forward midfielder Sarah Schupansky about the season and everything that she's been going through. So take a listen. Welcome back to Attacking Third. We are pleased to welcome in Gotham forward, a rookie. She's balling out in her first year in NWSL, Sarah Schupansky, to the show. Sarah, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm so excited to be here. It's really an honor to talk to you guys. Like I said, I watch all of your stuff, and you guys are so knowledgeable at everything. So it's so cool to be here.
Dee, we have a fan. How cool.
I love it. We're mutual fans. This is great.
We are mutual fans. All right, Sarah, before we get into Gotham NWSL stuff, you're coming off of a US U23 camp. You were in Germany, played 2 games there, but this under Emma Hayes, she has really renewed the importance of a U23 camp and getting competition. So take us inside the camp a little bit. How was it to be with the U23s and competing?
It was such an incredible experience. I had never really been in the youth system growing up, so I thought it was just past my time when I finally got to like 20, 21. And so when I saw that she was bringing this age group back, it was really encouraging to me. And obviously the ultimate goal is to be a part of that group. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity to have been in a few of the previous camps. But what Emma Hayes is doing with the national team is really, really admirable. And I've been watching the national team since I was young. So to be able to kind of be on the inside of everything and learn the system and know the dynamics that she's instilling into the players, that's super cool. Because now I don't only get to watch the games, I get to watch them and analyze how everything is going on and see what they're deciding to do that game. And I don't want to give too much away, but it really is cool to see everything in fruition. And I think that anybody would be honored to wear the crest, but I'm just, it's truly an honor every time. And that was the first time I got to officially play in an international competition, and the level was incredible. And I'm not only learning so much from the coaching staff that I get to play under there, but I'm also learning so much from the players around me and just getting to analyze their games and see what makes them up close, and getting to kind of maybe pick a couple of things off of their game to try to implement them into mine. And everybody's super helpful and super encouraging and very welcoming. And so it's just a really, really great experience. And I think the environment that Emma is creating, not only for the full team, but also for this U23 group, and I bet all of the younger age groups as well, it's great. And I think it's only going to get better.
Sarah, I remember going to U23 camps, and I talked with McCall and Jen Beatty about this the other day, about who, when you went in, who was like your big sis? Like who maybe were you kind of intimidated to meet, and who kind of surprised you and maybe you picked up a lot from their game, whether on or off the pitch, from in this camp?
So I've only been playing midfield for a little bit. So going into this camp and seeing obviously Jaden Shaw and Corbin Albert on this specific roster, I knew right away that I was going to try to do everything I can to learn as much as I could from them, just because of how talented they are, how knowledgeable they are, and how experienced they are in that area of the field. And I definitely did that. They are just as great as everybody describes them to be. With the ball and on and off the field. So definitely those two I was really excited to play with and just learn from. And they were two of the most encouraging players there. Very, very experienced and definitely acted like they kind of just senior players. Like they came in and they weren't putting themselves above anybody else. They were there to be with us and to help us, and especially new players like me come in and feel comfortable within Emma's system and answering any questions I might have had. So them two especially. And then obviously you guys know Lilly Reale. She's been in the system for a while, just growing up. And so when I first was called into camp a couple of months ago, she was so encouraging because I was obviously a little bit nervous. And to kind of have her, and not only on the field but also off the field, she's always there to reassure me when I need it. And traveling in the airports internationally is not an easy task, so it's nice to have somebody there to help with all of that stuff too. But it's really great to get to experience this stuff with her as well. And she's a great player, and you can learn a ton from her, even though I don't play too similar positions. I don't know if you would want to put me in the back line, but she's very great on the ball, so I can definitely take a few things away from her game as well. But honestly, everybody, that pool of players is so talented, so you can watch anybody at any given moment, even when they're not on the ball, and take something away from it, which is surreal. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do that.
Well, we've loved watching you, and especially the connection between you and Lilly Reale. So I'm so glad that you brought her up, because you two have been such fun players for Gotham to me, and learning new positions, learning this new style of play. And she also assisted your first career professional goal. Can you tell us how that moment felt?
Yeah, honestly, when I think back, I was just kind of in shock because it happened so early in the game. So usually it takes a little bit of time to like get into things and get settled into the game. But it happened so quickly. And I remember right after it happened, I was surprised the ball got through. I mean, it was a beautiful ball, but usually as an attacking midfielder, you're ready for the second balls and something to pop out. And for it to just glide all the way through, credit to Lilly, because that was incredible. But I was like, just focus, Sarah. Like, just make contact. Yeah, exactly. But I just remember right after it went in, like, obviously celebrated for a split second, but I was just trying to find Lilly because it was such a great ball. I was just trying to find her, and you can see me like running back and trying to find her to basically say thank you. But yeah, it was a really great feeling to score the goal, but I think the assist was the best part of that play for sure. But yeah, Lilly is great. I love playing with her. She's such an incredible presence, not only during the games and on the field, but also off the field. And she's so encouraging, not only to me, but also to the other rookies. And I think she's going to go so far in this sport. So to be playing with her is really special.
Well, it sounds like she's lucky to have a teammate like you too. You're like hyping her up. I love it, which is
no,
really
she
cool.
Deserves it.
Yeah,
she really deserves it.
Well, you deserve it too, Sarah, because you, as you mentioned, I mean, you played higher up the pitch in college, and with Gotham dropped a little bit deeper into the midfield and have really cemented yourself in how Gotham plays and the style and the buildup. But you had to adjust and learn it. So you talked about some of the players you're learning from at U23s, but at Gotham, I mean, that roster is stacked, absolutely, with so much talent. what have you picked up from some of the other players on the team, whether it be on the field or even off the field, and how you kind of prepare as a pro?
Yeah, so it was definitely a little bit of an adjustment, but Gotham plays such a fluid system that it wasn't as drastic as you might think going from forward to midfield, because there's a lot of movement and fluidity. So honestly, just on the defensive side of the ball and things like that, that's where the real adjusting comes into play. And the staff here and the players here, my teammates, are so encouraging to just have freedom and confidence on the ball and play the game that I know how to play, just on a little bit of a different area of the field. But it's been fun because I don't really have a preference when it comes to like the left side or the right side or whatever foot I want to use. So it's nice to have both sides at my disposal, because in college I sometimes found myself like having to drive inside and really only getting to hit those long balls with my right foot, but now getting to kind of do both with such talent around me. I mean, I don't think that I would be playing the way that I am without the people around me. And I'm learning so much from them, picking up from their experiences, and not only just from what they're doing with the ball, but also their encouragement off the field, and the way that they just are so open to helping me whenever I come with any questions. I do ask a lot of questions, but I don't think I'll stop soon, because I'm learning so much. And obviously there's Jalen Howell, and her experience is insane. When she played at Florida State, she was a senior when I was a freshman, and we played them at Florida State my freshman year, and they gave me the job of defending her. And I don't even know if I ever even told her this, but it was probably the most difficult like 60 minutes before we dropped into like a back six. But it was like the most difficult 60 minutes ever. She's just so talented, so mobile, and very vocal on the field, and that's very helpful. But learning from her has been an incredible experience. Obviously, Rose is coming back now, and that is something that I've been so excited for, because I've been watching her for the longest time, the biggest fan of her, and she's just turning out to be the best person ever as well. So now that she's getting more involved, she's calling me over and helping me with the little idiosyncrasies that come with playing the number 10 position. And I don't think there's anybody better in the world to be learning from than her. And so that's been really special as well. But I think there's so much to learn from every single person on the field, even if they're not in your position. Like I said before, I love taking stuff away from Lilly's game. She's so good at just driving at players and really committing to the play with her first touch. You look at Midge and you see how great she is in 1v1 situations, obviously, but she only gets herself into those situations because of how great she is with her movement and stuff like that. So there's like, you could give me the roster and I could tell you multiple things about each person that I've taken away from their game and just have tried to at least put in the back of my head for if I'm ever in a situation and can whip out somebody else's incredible skills. But like you said, the roster is stacked, and that's credit to the management and the organization here. And I think that this team can go really, really far, and it's really special to be a part of it. And I hope that I can just continue to contribute in any way that I can.
Well, congratulations, Sarah, on an awesome start to your rookie season, lifting the CONCACAF W Champions Cup, hopefully the first of many trophies that you get to lift. And we get to watch you, everyone, in action this Saturday as Gotham takes on Kansas City, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. You can watch it. Watch Sarah and watch Gotham as they take on number 1 KC Current. Sarah, thank you so much for hanging with us. This was so fun, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you both taking the time.
All right, guys. She was great, wasn't she? Jordan, what do you think? Darian and I got to chat with her live, but what do you think of her chat?
Impressed with her. Impressed with the detail she went into.
Impressed with idiosyncrasies.
Said idiosyncrasies. I was like, okay, Sarah Schupansky. Can I drop a cool note about her? Juan Carlos Amaros told us earlier in the year She is the best two-footed player he has ever had on his team.
Wow.
Ever. Like, not just in NWSL, like playing when he coached in Spain as well.
Huge compliment.
Yeah.
And that makes sense why she was like, I don't care if I'm on the left or if I'm on the right, whatever foot I can use, I'll use it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even tell a difference.
Yeah. One other thing that really stuck out to me, and it kind of brings this with you guys full circle, is when we first started attacking third on Golazo, it was the 2023 Women's World Cup, right? And the US went out in a pretty terrible way, and we were talking about what was wrong. Well, one of the things that is wrong is the structure underneath, right? And I love her talk about the under 23s and bringing that back, and the roles that players can play in that and how much it can help their advancement. I think that we are going to continue to see the game in the United States evolve rapidly because of that, because of the focus on the 23. She talked about those two players with a lot of full team experience playing big roles with that 23 team. And that is not just big for them, it's big for the players around them. And so I loved her talking about the 23s because it is a special team. I got to be a part of it, and it is meaningful, and we need that here in the United States.
And players, like we saw Lola Bonte, Carriabello, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing, you can still get a call up. And Sarah Schupansky echoed that as well, saying, I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do this. And now the U23s have opened this, right? It doubles the roster size for Emma Hayes and the player pool that she gets to look at. Sarah, thanks for hanging. That was really fun. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We've got one more segment for you. We're headed across the pond. We're talking Women's Nations League for UEFA, so stick with us.
I mean, can't you see it? The game is evolving. Records are breaking, and the stars are shining here on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to A3. The group stage has officially concluded, finally. I feel like it's been going on for months, for years, for the UEFA Women's Nations League. So there are only 4 teams remaining for the finals that will take place in the fall. Spain, France, Germany, and Sweden. So Netherlands knocked out, England knocked out, and it's just the second ever edition of this UEFA Women's Nations League. You can watch it across CBS Sports platforms, but it determines the league system for Euro qualifiers and the 2027 World Cup, but it's a new format and a new structure. Spain won it last year. They played France in the final. Germany, they won bronze at the Olympics, and first-time qualifiers Sweden will now play in the semifinal. The draw is happening tomorrow, Friday, to see who these teams will play. But Darian, we talk so much about schedule congestion and everything, but this is a lot of games on top of the domestic schedule, FA Cups and all the cups that these teams are playing and these players are playing, the international tournaments with the Euros this summer. Jordan, sorry, I'm going to throw this one to you, Jay.
Okay.
But how much does this Women's Nations League really add in terms of schedule congestion?
Yeah, this is always such a big topic of conversation. I think even bigger now because we're more aware of all the games. We get to watch all the games, and we get to see kind of firsthand all the injuries that happen because of schedule congestion. I think that's one of the big reasons why we talk about it. But in all reality, international breaks always happen. The international breaks are going to be there. The United States just played 2 games in an international break. And instead of those 2 games being for qualification for a Nations League type tournament, they were just friendlies. And we have seen this over the years. Like, I can't even think back to when this started, but we've seen the United States utilize these international windows to play games. And I don't think it congests the schedule any more than it has been typically. It might be the other cups and other games that are played maybe domestically, but it adds a different competition and a different competition level to those international windows.
No, I agree. And I love the idea of when you are going to these friendlies, you're playing for something.
Yeah.
There's something on the line for these players, especially when you're developing younger players into your full team. You want them to go play against hefty competition. You want them to get that experience of it's crunch time, it's do or die. You have to win this game. We have to put goals away. It's not so much of an experimentation, which you still can do, but it has to be much more balanced. So the schedule congestion, yes, I understand, but if you're going to have that congestion, don't you want it to be for something that is tangible as opposed to just a camp, which can be great. But I think that those games are really important. I mean, France playing, Spain playing England.
And big game.
That's massive. That's a massive, massive asset for your team, your mindset, your confidence, development of your team moving forward.
I think the weirdest part about it, guys, is it's this year. Why wouldn't it be next year? Because the Euros are this summer. And then if you make this qualification into next year, and then that be your almost gap year between Euros and a World Cup, to me, that makes more sense, right? You have these Euros this year, you kind of set everything up to participate in this, and that's your big competition. Then your big competition next year in Europe would be qualification for the World Cup the next year. It just is kind of funny to me that it's in a year where you already have a major competition.
Yeah, the group stage has been going on for the last several international windows. Now, the next time these teams get together will be in just a few weeks for the Euros. And then post-Euros in October is going to be the two-legged semifinal for the Women's Nations League. That'll take place October 24th and the 28th, and then the final in late November, early December, ultimately. But it is a little odd that this is kind of bookending the Euros, when I would argue that these teams care more about the Euros than they do about this Women's Nations League.
It'd be hard not to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
100%.
You want to win the Euros. Okay, so let's touch on these teams that are in it, though, because we get to see Spain, France, Germany, and Sweden. They will play in this knockout semifinal competition that's taking place in the fall. Who's going to win? Who's got the best chance of this, coming off of a Euros competition potentially and then having to go into the semifinal? D, you lean in one team or the other?
Y'all are going to be sick of me, but I've been saying Spain every single tournament, every single anything that they're involved in. I just think this team is so good. And especially when you have a game against England under your belt where you had to come back late in the second half, and it's Claudia Pina, one of the first subs off of the bench, who comes in and scores a brace to give you the win. I think that gives you so much more of an edge moving forward in this tournament as opposed to a blowout game, which we saw from many of the others. France, I wish I had them. They're so good. They're such good players, but I never really do it. I love being strong, but I'm rocking with Spain.
It's hard not to say Spain when they just are so good, and they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon, right? Even considering these tournaments take place over many, many months, the roster's not changing that much, and it doesn't really matter because all the youth teams for Spain play the same way under the same system. It's a lot of fluidity that just leads them right into the senior national team. But I'm going to give, I think it depends on the draw, right? Who these teams are going up against. But I think Germany could surprise people, guys. This is a team that at the Olympics last year, they won bronze. They disrupted a lot. They found new systems, and they're coming off of a really good group stage. 6-0 over Austria, 4-0 over the Netherlands, 6-1 and 4-0 over Scotland. They were really, really dominant and doing it with a variety of different goal scorers. I think Julia Gwyn is only getting better, which is terrifying to say because the last several years, everyone has been like, she's one of the best outside backs. She gets forward. She's so good defending. Gwyn is getting better. New skin on this German side. Clara Buell, who's done so well. Leah Schuler. This Germany team is stacked and they're underrated. And I think that they could surprise some teams depending on the draw that they get.
I love this because I'm not going to go with either one of those teams. I'm going to go with France. I think it's time for France. They have not been top tier for a while in Europe, and I feel like they're gaining some momentum right now. Their players are becoming like peak in their age and in their style of play. It's getting a little bit more cohesive. So I thought Darian was going to go France, so I'm going France. I think that this is going to be really interesting. I think the two-leg semifinal makes it even more interesting, and I love that we all pick different players or different teams.
Don't let the blue fool you. I'm rocking with the Spanish.
This could potentially be it for France. It's like the team, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They are perennial quarterfinalists or semifinalists.
Let's go.
this is the year for them to do it potentially with this. This is fun, guys. This was awesome. We've got a big weekend of NWSL ahead. Listen to or Jordan on the call. Jordan, also you're joining us Sunday night when we go live to recap it. It's like the week of Jordan. It's pretty good.
I'll be there.
Guys, thanks for joining us on Attacking Third. As a reminder, we're live on YouTube Mondays 4:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. and Sunday 6 p.m. Eastern. We are going live to wrap up Week 11. Thanks for hanging with us. Don't forget, you can always listen as a pod and watch us on the Golazo Network. Tell a friend to tune in to Attacking Third. Thanks for hanging with us. For Darian, Jordan, and Mark, I'm Lisa. This was Attacking Third.